So I mean, Ruins of Silence being the first map, it's one that it's a very unique map in Sacrifice, I feel, you know, because there's so much action taking place in the middle. But this is one of those maps where when people go in for those champion lineups, it can get a little bit unique. You know, you really, I know we've talked about the champion a lot, but you don't see Clutch picked a lot in general. But when we're on Ruins, this tends to be the map you see the pick come through.
Yeah, I think it's really useful, one, for defending, attacking. The shield is just so disruptive. It keeps people from doing anything, really. If you use it right, it's kind of like you're at a standstill and you're just staring at each other. It's like, what do you do? Not only that, but for power-up defense and supporting your teammates there. So having that shield, and not to mention a big body, if he's fully stacked, it draws a lot of fire, a lot of attention. It takes time to bring him down, and sometimes spending that time on just one target can leave yourself open to enemy fire.
So here we go. This is the moment we've been looking forward to. The picks on, I feel like Stacked are going to have somewhat more of a predictable lineup because they pretty much almost never differ from the comp they've had before. So you've got, there we go, I can see the traditional selection coming through Stacked, but we do see the Clutch pick come through on Team Liquid. Now, this is going to be so interesting because Stacked, they look dangerous, they've been playing loads of scrims. However, I'm really not sure how much clutch experience they're going to have, especially at this level.
And one of the things we noticed too good earlier, like to use that Nyx Ghost Walk to time the power up. The problem with that now against Liquid is if he pops his clutch shield to protect the area, he will see that Nyx invis. So, and then he can call that out to his teammates, and next thing you know, you got a flood of rockets down to where the Nyx is, and it could create problems. So I'm curious to see how that matchup works out.
It's one of those really unique mechanics that I think not many people really think about, but yeah, Clutch, when he has his shield up, is able to see an invisible Nyx. He's a very sort of anti-Nyx champion, his Clutch, and obviously his ability to sort of chase down with that air dash, which he was given shortly during the QWC days, now gives him that fantastic mobility as well. But realistically, I think Stacked, they're going to be going into this prepared at the same time, so are Team Liquid. This is likely to be one of the most evenly matched series I think we've seen in general. These guys, when it was Not Too Fast, went head-to-head at QWC. We probably expected Liquid to probably fall to Not Too Fast because of how strong they looked in QWC, but they made them work for that one. It was not an easy win at all.
Yeah, they were very evenly matched last time. Obviously, Stacked has a roster change, but still, it's essentially the same rosters, more or less. Liquid's obviously changed it up, but the staples, Rafa, DreamHack, I think that really just sets everything up. So here we go.
Well, it sounds like we're going to be going into this matchup. Team Liquid versus Stacked. Once again, it's going to be North America versus Europe, but it is two of the absolute most dominant teams in the world for Sacrifice. I think everyone's excited to see what happens here. These starter shotguns will be a very popular tool indeed. Sacrifice, you point blank so often, this really is the starting weapon you go for.
Yeah, it can do a lot of damage, even at somewhat medium range. That initial boomstick is very useful. Oh, nice.
A really nice amount of early control, trying to sort of seize control of this rocket launcher. Noctis has the soul, but KGB, I mean, he really likes Berserk. Like, he consistently knows when to use that on the point, getting minimum double kills most of the time. But here we go, the early drop-off coming through for Team Liquid, 5% already. Here comes the first power-up.
I'm very curious now who's going to get the power-up, especially because Team Liquid got that first initial cap.
It has wasted a little bit of time. I know some players, they almost like make that choice, right? There's not been a huge amount of fighting actually taking place in the middle of this map. Toxic being able to collect the quads temporarily, but the fight was 100% focused towards the zone. I think they were trying to fight percentage instead of the power-up.
Yeah, it looked like they split their attention, but it worked out pretty good. They ended up with the quad and the soul here, so they're going to be okay, it looks like. Even that looks like that strategy worked out for them.
Yeah, I can see even though Toxic has access to quad damage, he's very, very weak, but as long as he can just sort of reach that point, as long as he's not taking damage from distance, he can just output as many quad rockets as he likes.
And even now, taking the position in the back like that. Oh,
here comes the hang out of nowhere.
I was saying one of the things he's doing smart, he was low, he was staying in the back. So even if he were to die, his teammates had plenty of opportunity to go pick up the quad.
And that's always the thing, right? You know, you always have to think of like the return journey. It's not what I do with the power-up, it's what happens when I inevitably go down and the rest of my team can take it. But Team Liquid has a big push coming in through that. Trying to make passage back. Waz getting the Mega along the way. He's going to massively help him out. In combination with that injection, that's a safe drop-off.
And Liquid here looking strong early on. I mean, Stack got that steal, but Liquid took it right back, and now they're building up that lead again.
Here comes Tok. Just ignoring Waz. Just completely. Just going in trying to cause some of these problems. The quick turnaround, and I actually really like that. Waz was kind of forced out of action for just enough for that fight to be not in their favor.
Yeah, that was really good. It really delayed him there. Oh my goodness, KGB with the Berserk punching.
He's still got a nice amount of health. Might get one more punch, but no, 2 just sees that one. Can't quite get away, but this is like what you see at this level of play, right? Is that it's not being able to just defend the obelisk, but the second the soul goes away, don't let them leave the vicinity, you know, keep that pressure on.
That's absolutely right. They're doing a good job. They got a nice lead right now, although Stacked is going to take it back. It looks like he's running into a little problem there, yeah.
And even then, there was DreamHack coming through anyway. So even if he won that 1v1, I think DreamHack definitely would have cleaned that one up.
Liquid doing a good job cutting them off as they try to return it to their obelisk. If Liquid gets this next power up here, which should be the protection, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be in great shape.
Now it goes to Clutch with a shield. I mean, like,
he's stacked. He
had the shield to seize the power up, and now when the shield runs out, he's got access to the protection. I mean, that was like best case scenario for DreamHack.
He is like really, it's going to be a problem.
Oh dear.
Oh, he forgot the soul there at the teleporter.
That was actually oh my days, and a protected Clutch picks up the soul after it was dropped off. That was a massive error, and I think the capitalization here is going to be severe.
And you know, it's interesting because they're trying to take him down, but I don't think they realize how stacked that Clutch really was with protection. I mean, they're devoting a lot of time to him and not getting a lot of return.
Yeah, in many ways, Clutch is one of the most dangerous champions in the game of protection because of his mobility, because of his stack, because of his shield. I mean, like, what really can you do if he's got full health? Very little indeed.
And one of the other interesting things about Clutch in a team situation is because he does start with such a good stack, a lot of players are weak, and you know, there's not a lot of items to share among 4 teammates. So a lot of guys are running around with lower stacks, and it's easy to take them down.
Tries to quite get out of there, but not quite. Doesn't worry too much. Team Liquid, they're looking so solid. The only percentage we've seen from Stacked came from the very beginning of that round, and that's basically it right now. Yeah,
they're showing some great defense, as you mentioned earlier. Anytime Stacked seems to get the soul, Liquid's just in really fast pursuit, not letting him get anywhere. Even when they do get away, they're low health, and somebody else is there to clean them up on the other end.
I mean, even if you manage to get a frag near the obelisk, when you sort of frag someone on the obelisk, they're probably going to respawn near the middle of the map. They're guaranteed to at least get one shot to hedge you off if they get a good read about where you're going to try and run away to.
Oh. That was interesting. He rocket jumped up, caught Rafa on the ground there, and Rafa threw one up and caught him in midair.
But it's come through again. Like, it's the same thing. Like, they were able to drop it off, but the question is for how long? Like, within the blink of an eye, they get 3% on the board, and it's already in transit for one more time.
And I like this see that little misdirect, little redirect they did there. Very intelligent. I love the team play right now from Liquid.
They just sat there and waited with the soul until KGB finished beating everyone up, and then he just ran in. Oh, here comes Tox to hang with the quad damage.
Again, that Clutch on that power-up, causing them problems. You know, for Stacks, you got to be concerned about that right now. Not getting these power-ups, and not to mention being down as much as they are. They're just making it that much more difficult on themselves.
It's also the fact that DreamHack, when he's got quad damage, he's had the shield the entire time. Like, he was uncontested, didn't even need to use the shield when the power-up was spawning. I think DreamHack has had quite an easy run seizing these power-ups from start to finish.
Yeah, it's definitely causing.
Oh wow.
The Clutch is definitely causing Stack problems, similar to what we saw in the WinRAR match where they just didn't seem to have an answer for him.
So I was kind of stuck up there, but they managed to get it back a little bit.
Oh, 9 health and he gets away.
Oh, and just the plasma trail at the last minute, just a guarantee.
My goodness.
We've seen our fair share of players today surviving with the smallest amount of health. But with 5% left to go, Team Liquid, I mean, they could definitely take this first round. They're getting the frags. They're winning the fight. They win another one. Waz with basically a triple in that scenario. And he finishes off Faz as well. They're going to have to try and trickle in one at a time, but they can't even run in. Too good. What is he going to do in that situation? He's there by himself. If he runs in, he's probably going to go down anyway. That was a convincing round number 1 for Team Liquid.
Yeah, very dominant. Very dominant. They need to be pleased with themselves on that one. That is a great start for them in this match. Very impressed. Honestly, Stack didn't look like they were in that round at all. I mean, like I said, other than that start, they got the quick cap, but beyond that, it was all Liquid.
You very rarely actually see Stacked, I guess, challenged in this way as well. You know, rounds that are so heavily against them. You don't see that every day, but I feel like Liquid sending quite a strong message with a dominant round number 1. That is the best way to get advantage in this game mode.
Yeah, it's one thing for Stack to lose a round. It's another thing to lose a round 100 to 10. I'm sure that's not something they're used to.
However, here comes Faz. I mean, he was pretty much almost dead, but the important thing was that he used that life to get the obelisk, and now it's been swapped around temporarily to Hang. He's sitting on that point with the rest of his team. I mean, he'll take rails for days. He's still nice and healthy.
I'm curious to see now the different dynamic as they swapped obelisk this round. Does it maybe benefit Stack? Do they have maybe a more cohesive strategy for the other side of the map? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we have seen teams, we don't see it as much these days, but we have seen teams that are, oh, hello, just knocked us with the quad damage, just heading him off right there. But we have seen teams somewhat struggle on certain obelisks today, and I think that's just a thing about Sacrifice in general, but Stacked in particular. I wonder if Ruins is another one of those maps.
This is a good quad run here, good defense. Definitely going to get them a nice start into this match. So Liquid needs to think about regrouping right now. They're kind of trickling in on this quad.
But the important thing as well, also for that frag, not just getting rewarded by the railgun. So now they've just got that extra sort of distance element.
Oh, they're really settled in here in a defensive formation. You got a guy up top there by the Mega Health area, which is kind of like that transitional area right there in the middle. You can see so much. And you keep a couple guys on the side here.
Actually really like that play from DreamHack. He pretty much just went in there with the shield as a distraction while Waz comes in and steals the soul away before he's even been taken out.
They've done this several times today on Sarnath, and it's a very effective strategy. I've yet to see a team able to counter it.
I mean, like, essentially, it's just DreamHack goes in, pops the shield, everyone focuses him. By the time they've even finished being able to take him out, Waz has already gone in there, and the soul is gone.
Nice long distance rocket.
They've been able to drop things off, and actually, with the 15% in quite a fast turnaround time, they could very easily start taking things back, especially if he gets these berserk kills, gets two, Noctis, and Toxic goes down.
KGB, he's knocked out a lot of people today.
I just feel like the second he's on the point, he's almost guaranteed a double when he has that berserk. Like his knowledge on when to finish targets off. Oh, see you later, too good.
Now again, see now Liquid's turning this around. They've really shown they have a strong defensive presence. When they get settled in, they're really good. And now I'm curious, who gets this next power-up?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, with 6 seconds left on the clock, this is no doubt going to be where the next fight takes place. But actually, no, they actually still look a little bit content for this time, fighting near the obelisk. But Too Good's going to be forced to go away. But look at the frags. They rack up. The tactical suicide comes through. Waz now with an injection and a core damage. This is a bit scary.
Oh, man. And he's picking up that mega health. He's good to go. They're going to get a nice lead here. I'd be surprised. They need to get this quad down. If you're stacked, you need to kill this quad.
And he's going to get a couple. I mean, the longer this time goes down, I mean, they're not only have they taken the lead now, but with that essentially mass group kill they just got, that's a whole amount of uncontested percentage. Toxic tries to go for the quick route and is quickly met off by that super shotgun. I mean, there we go. Liquid on top once again. Yeah, they're really looking dominant once they get settled in. It seems to not matter what obelisk they get on this map. They just have a good approach to the map, clearly. It's just their experience, right, in just FPS, those like objective-based FPS, like DreamHack and Rafa, both heavily experienced, and they've been competing heavily. You know, they're used to these kind of game modes where defending is such an important element. Yeah, and KGB is also known as a solid team player, and just Waz is just dynamite. I'm so glad they picked him up. That was a great decision. Well, and you can see how much it's been working out for them. I feel like this is such an amazing map for Clutch as well, because like those jump pads being so prominent, like Clutch can just use that jump pad and just fling himself straight onto the obelisk from it. Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting to see DreamHack utilize Clutch on this map, and he's been doing it so effectively. You got to think that he's probably, I think, the MVP of Liquid here for Sarnath. I mean, he's just such a disruptive. But now, like, how are they going to stop that? How are they going to stop him? That's a prime example right there of how disruptive it is. I mean, if he's any other character right there, he's probably dead. Especially seeing as you've got like a Slash with the gauntlet revving constantly. He was just sitting there and just being a nuisance. Noctis temporarily has been able to sort of slip the net, but they've got a ton of work to do. Liquid with 10% left to go. And they have to now, Stacked really needs to get this protection in 10 seconds. The Team Liquid only needs 10%, so if they get this protection and get a steal, Stacked is gonna probably lose this map. No, they actually have to pile in, but will it be too late? DreamHack using the shield another time to guarantee, but just look at how healthy he is. It doesn't matter how many of them pile in. He's still got way more health and armor than anyone else in this game right now. It's just amazing how disruptive he has been on the power-up. I just don't know what teams are going to have to figure something out here, because it's clearly a strategy that they haven't dealt with too much. Completely. I mean, like they piled in every ounce they had, and it still wasn't enough. Here comes Clutch just breezing past everyone. The deliberate thing to just drop the soul and give it to DreamHack, because what are they going to do to stop him? That's going to be 1 more percent. They managed to take this round, and they're going to take the map on that. DreamHack quite clearly was an MVP there. Yeah, and you see how quickly his shield was up again. He grabbed a couple hourglasses, right? And wow. Great performance by Liquid, strong defense. Stacked is clearly going to have to make an adjustment going into Blood Covenant. But props to DreamHack. I really would say MVP on Sarnath. He is just so disruptive. I think that's just what happens in these kind of tournaments. Right? I know actually even Clutch was like given a small little buff, you know, in the patch. We don't really talk about it because Clutch wasn't picked very often, but even Clutch was given a little bit of love in the patch itself. So seeing him used in Sacrifice, not surprised at all. I think his kit naturally works superbly well. And then you've got a player like DreamHack, who is naturally talented behind the wheel. It's a great combination.
And it's interesting because he's getting so much attention drawn to him. And then we just saw that highlight of Waz just running around. Everybody's eyes are on, get that clutch down. You know, that's probably what they're screaming on their team. Get the clutch down. And meanwhile, Waz is just running around. Rafa's running around. What about paying attention to these guys running around? You know, it's like, it's a problem. It's
a lovely combination because obviously Quake being a naturally fast-paced game, but some of the champions that we're seeing, you know, like Slash, you know, like Anarchy, they can be from point A to point B in the blink of an eye. So even the time it takes to kill Clutch is, you know, that obelisk has already been taken. You know, even before he's down, the obelisk is gone. Yeah,
and even in the team fights, we saw the protect, just so much attention to doing damage on the Clutch. You're forgetting about the other teammates, and as you mentioned, even if you did kill a couple teammates, you're giving them time. You know, Slash, Anarchy, oh, they respawn, they're going to be back across the map in 2 seconds. You know.
Now, what I wonder is, will we see it on Blood Covenant? You know, was it just for Ruins, or is this where things get a bit switched?
We've seen it earlier. It's clearly a strategy they have for Sarnath, and they change it up again for Blood Covenant here. And it's interesting now. DreamHack's going to Slash, so I'm wondering where Rafa ends up here.
Scalebearer.
Okay.
Keeping things nice and chunky. I think I like it. But I feel like it's one thing that really impresses me about Team Liquid is how they so consistently change champions, but it's not like, I know, I'm the Anarchy player for the team, I'm the Slash player for the team. They all play so many champions that they essentially switch those roles depending on the map they go on. You know, and I love that flexibility Liquid brings to the table.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important, and especially in this team mode, to have that kind of flexibility. You shouldn't have to be locked in at Anarchy because, you know, you should have multiple strengths in multiple ways because each map, as we've seen, kind of has a different meta, different champions people like to pick. Obviously, Slash and Anarchy are people's favorites, but then do you go with the Sorlag? Do you go with Scalebearer? Do you go with the Clutch? I mean, how do you mix up your lineup? And your players having more options clearly gives you an advantage, I think.
I would definitely agree with that. And I think, especially, you know, with the recent patch that we had that gave some of these champions some love, kind of balanced the game a little bit more where Sorlag was not as prominent. We've definitely seen Scalebearer come back into the frame more because Scalebearer has that increased armor, which in this game mode is naturally going to help him massively because those, I know you mentioned it on Sarnath, where these larger champions spawning fresh with a really respective stack, you're going to die a lot in Sacrifice. You know, I think that's just one thing you have to accept is you will go down constantly. It's what you do with the life that matters. But if you're one of those larger champions, spawning with a huge amount of health and armor is a great advantage to have when you're having to defend or attack.
Yeah, because a lot of these guys in team matches will be running around with limited stacks due to the nature of team. There's only one heavy armor, there's only one mega health, and you have 4 teammates. So, not to mention all the damage you're taking from the enemy. So it's very typical to run into people that don't have a full, even 100 health armor stack. And, you know, maybe they'll have one guy on their team, but yeah, so when you're respawning as a Clutch with that kind of stack, it's effective.
So here we go into this map number 2, Sacrifice, Blood Covenant. Team Liquid just took it very convincingly overstacked. But new map, new meta. You know, things are going to change up. We're going to see how Stacked make the adaptations in 10 seconds. The pace of the match is about to be set.
Expect to see Rafa utilizing that Scalebearer charge for the power-ups, for things like this, the soul right here, but he may just save it. I'm curious if he charges in or if he just saves it for the power-up, which I think is very effective. Charge through that teleport, if you time it just right, I don't see how you get in the Scalebearer's way.
And there's Rafa with the chase down. Caught him in a little bit off guard off that jump pad, but he himself with 8 HP is only going to survive for so long, but here comes Stacked. They have been able to deliver. But here comes the power-up too. This is where the next fight's going to be. You can see how many members of Team Liquid are starting to pile in. Rafa hasn't got his charge, so he's not like to have it when it spawns. Here comes Too Good. He's been so good at securing the power-up. Yeah, pretty much throughout this entire qualification process.
This is a good start for Stacked, especially after losing that first map. They need to get out to a good start here. Try to get the steal back from get the soul back. Looks like they're not going to get it yet, so Liquid's going to lose that soul.
Has to wait a little bit of time. Plasma Trail wasting a ton of time. I mean, if you go down to the Plasma Trail, really, you can't really touch it. Otherwise, you are going to die. It takes so much damage.
Nice steal. Stacked getting off to a good start here.
Yeah, definitely so. I feel like that's almost always like Too Good's objective. On top of being like a really good fragger for the team with Too Good, it's his knowledge of like when the power-up appears. If one person on Stacks tends to pick that up, it's probably going to be Too Good all the time.
Again, a nice, wow, Waz barely getting out of there, but still, he got it. Very interesting. I think that's going to be a short-lived cap there.
Definitely. I mean, like, drops it off and then goes down immediately. You saw just how many members of Stacked were piling in. Noctis, again, like, just trying to sort of take the mega health on the way back. So he's going to take a fair amount of fire before they can put a stop to him.
Look, we're doing good pressure there, trying to keep him on. The rail ledge is very, you're very vulnerable because you don't have a lot of places to move. And good job by Liquid. Oh my gosh, nice pursuit though.
Faz with the rocket jump. You can see how many members have actually headed off. Actually, a little bit of an early jump down there, so DreamHack wasn't really able to meet Faz in the middle, going in for Noctis instead, and ultimately going down. Stacked with a nice lead that is continuing to climb. They're starting to win these fights quite convincingly.
Yeah, clearly looking stronger on this map than they were in Sarnath. This is a good start for them.
In a short space of time, I mean, Stacked are doing well.
I think Liquid...
Oh dear, here he comes.
Gosh, here he comes.
Very nearly got sent off the map right there. That would have been pretty good.
Yeah, Liquid, I think they really need to get control of that upper bridge so they can shoot down onto the obelisk.
Yeah, that's one of the, I guess, like the weaknesses of that obelisk is that if you've, like, obviously if you can take rail, you've got a lot of eyesight from a far distance where you yourself aren't necessarily at risk, but you can start to harass that point consistently.
Yeah, I think this area, because the high ground is really in the back of this obelisk versus, you know, B, where the bridge is pretty much a main fighting area, RL, you know, that area is very busy. So yeah, if you lose control of that upper area, it becomes very tough to defend B.
Now Too Good for another time has access to protection. He has been putting it to very good use, scoring a whole bunch of frags, allowing the rest of his team to follow up. Actually, kind of looks like Noctis will probably be able to drop this off for a little bit. How long will he survive before he goes down, though?
Yeah, Liquid should be concerned now. That's 2 power-ups in a row this round they have not gotten control of. You don't want to do that, especially against a team like Stacked. You want every advantage you possibly can have.
That's one thing that Stacked so consistently do well in Sacrifice is kind of like just deny. Anything that could even remotely give you a comeback, be it a power-up, be it a weapon of sorts, they've historically been very good at timing those to make sure that you almost never have them.
And they're doing a great job of cutting off Liquid right now, just causing interference, getting in their face as they're trying to return the soul, not letting Liquid get it onto the point. They're slowly here, they're building their lead, 44-17 now, but it looks like they're going to get back for another cap.
That was a nice little turnaround from Noctis, actually. I mean, he was never going to go down there, but I think he was happy taking at least one with him. However, DreamHack has been able to get a couple of frags. Liquid coming off better in these fights for now. They're trying to make safe passage. They can look at the members of Stacked. They're starting to head them off. Rapper trying to clear the way with that charge, but unfortunately with that rail missing, doesn't quite able to manage that.
They're just having a hard time even getting it to their point. You got to give credit to Stacked right now for just making it that difficult on them. Liquid really needed that steal coming into this next power-up.
Taking a little bit of damage, but it does sound like he was able to drop it off a little bit, at least. But I feel like this is quite a running theme in Blood Covenant, where it's not really a substantial delivery, right? It's just kind of percentage here, percentage there. It's in transit more than it's actually being captured.
Well, right now, Liquid really needs to get a power-up to maybe try to change some momentum here. So far, you know, Stacked has been all over the power-ups in this match.
Now, speaking of which, we are going to see again Rafa. He's timed his charge. He's cleared the quad along the way. And there we go. Now, this should be quite a comfortable drop-off for them.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting to see earlier in the match with the scale bearer charge. It's very tough to defend that if they time it right.
And if you time it right into a quad damage, I mean, even a level 1 charge at quad damage will pretty much wipe most characters.
Oh.
See you later, Faz. Unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time. But the thing is, they used the entire quad to drop the soul off. The thing that Stacked have been showing us is that their ability to pretty much seize the point and take the soul hasn't been a problem. So the percentage they've been able to climb is probably going to be quite minimal unless Liquid can do what we've seen them do before and just put on this brick wall defense right now. We could see it.
Yeah, they're more settled in now. I think that quad, you know, they got some kills there. Now Stacked is a little more on the back foot. Gave Liquid an opportunity. Oh, look at that nail gun. Gave them an opportunity for some of their teammates to get some
really nice
armor and health. And so now it looks like they're in a stronger defensive position, even though they just lost the soul there. They got some about 21% off that defense.
Which is better than nothing, and it's definitely better than what they have been doing previously. They haven't got a huge amount left to go until they tie things up. 38 versus like 66 may look like a huge amount, but in this game mode, you can climb percentage so quickly if it's not being challenged, then you'd be surprised how fast it can build up.
Oh yeah, it'll turn around and just really fast, but Liquid needs to make a play now. They need to steal before the next power-up, in my view, to really have a chance in this first round.
Yeah, I feel like you just look at the percentage left to climb for Stacked, and then you look at the fact that it's 30 seconds left on the power-up. I don't even think there's going to be 30 seconds left on this map if Stacked continue to climb this percentage. It has been dropped off to DreamHack, wasting a bit of time.
This is big. They can somehow get this away.
Oh, Too Good just meeting them up front, though. But it has taken so long that now, yes, the power-up is now going to become a threat.
That was good though, even though they didn't get it back, they at least delayed so the percentages of stacked wasn't continuously going up for this next power-up, so they can focus. If they get protection here, they could mount a strong defense. And it looks like Rafa's got it.
Fantastic teamwork. I mean, that was Plasma Trail and Bull Rush. I mean, one thing we do see too, good do all the time, his timing on when to reappear with the Ghost Walk, always sublime, and it seizes so many power-ups. However, now you've got a Plasma Trail for Slash, and you've got a Bull Rush. If she reappears and gets the power-up, I mean, can she even survive what comes next? If it's a detonation and a Scale Bearer running in full speed.
And, you know, the Scale Bearer does enough damage on his charge. He picks up the quad and he touches you after that, you're just going to explode.
100%. Another drop off. Met in the middle, though. Still a lot of work to do. Stacked nicely in the lead.
Yeah, they need Liquid, though. They're kind of, I feel like they got a shot here. It's just, they're just having a hard time with defense. You got to give credit to Stack, though. They're really just keeping that constant offensive pressure on them.
Yeah, it's just a level of harassment, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's making sure that even if you drop the soul off, you've only really got it for so long, and that they're consistently able to make sure that in play, Liquid aren't really making any much of a percentage comeback. So in that kind of situation, you're not really making any grounds. You're staying behind the entire time.
Yeah, it just seems like there's a constant fight going over there at the Liquid Obelisk. They just don't get a moment to breathe. And over here, it just seems like they clear them out every so often on Stacked, and that's kind of been the difference.
Tries to get there just in time. I'm actually not sure he got the drop-off because he tried to reach there, but I believe actually we saw Rafa turn around, maybe trying to throw the soul instead. Noctis, he's instantly having to try and head them off. Even then, if he manages to head them off, he doesn't look very healthy. DreamHack might actually come off better in this exchange.
Oh, that was, he barely got away there. I thought he was toast when he hit that clip on the wall there. I thought he was going to get caught, but that was a big steal. They're delaying this enough. Another power-up's going to come up now. If Liquid gets this next power-up and has a nice run, they're going to tie this up. For
sure. And I think this is where you have to make a choice to Stack, because if you can use this tension to try and take the soul and actually sneak it away, with 10% left, it might not actually be that bad, but here comes Noctis lying in wait, gets taken out temporarily. Faz with this quad damage. Now this might be the turnaround that Stack have been looking for.
Yeah, that was a big body block there by Noctis, you know, just using the Sorlag as you know, to keep him away from the quad.
Hang on a minute, Liquid have the quad. Faz went down, and now even if the hang goes down, it's likely that Waz will pick it up, and he does indeed.
Ooh.
But Noctis has been able to re-seize this quad damage. That was quite a crazy exchange.
I don't know what's going to happen here now, because quad's wearing out. Soul's looks like it's in transit. This is anybody's game right now, although Stack clearly has the advantage. It looks like they're probably going to cap. Oh no, he's getting some pressure. Oh, nice cover by Noctis, though. Even though he died, that was just good support for his teammate.
I think in this exchange, that was a fantastic pass. Really, really nice pass down there. How long will they keep it? Toxic, he's going to get a couple of percentage. I love the fact that Faz acknowledged he was going to die, but he just got that longest yard toss that was caught there by Tox for the delivery, and actually might be what has won them this round. Here comes Liquid. 1% left. I mean, now they've got no other option. They can't allow it to be dropped off one more time, but Faz has been able to do it. Is it going to be enough?
Oh my goodness.
I feel like that's going to be the round. Looking likely, trying to pile in, but when you trickle in one at a time, yes, you're going to waste time, but you're unlikely to be able to do anything about it. And that's going to be a hard-fought round for Stacked.
Good round. Stacked obviously needed that. You know, they lost the first 2 rounds and just got cleaned out on Sarnath. So to come back like this was important, obviously, to get some momentum going in their favor. But on the Liquid side of things, you know, they kind of put themselves in a bad spot early on. So they got to think about maybe getting off to a better start this round and think, you know, they probably get the win if they get a better start.
That's what could be scary about Sacrifice, isn't it? How it can be so momentum heavy. If you don't have a good start and you give up like 30%, 40% before you can actually get online, eventually when it becomes close, you always have to ask yourself, if we just didn't concede that 40% or that early lead, who knows?
Yeah, and it's similar to, I mean, pick a sport. You know, you don't want to go down early in the early period of any sport, right, and have to come back and dig yourself out of a hole. So we'll see what happens here.
Team Liquid have got that first start, and just like in Rangers Sarnath, we just switched the obelisks around.
And it's always curious to see, does Stack have as good a presence when the obelisk is switch hands like this? Maybe that is their obelisk. We don't know. We'll see.
Like at this stage, it's you know, you always know that teams are likely to be comfortable on both, but realistically, there's going to be players that will naturally prefer one or the other, and we have seen that today, particularly on Burial Chamber, I think.
Nice.
That was just, I mean, denial in every way possible.
Excellent by Toxic there to keep his teammates back clear.
They've used the quad to fantastic effect. But I love the coordination. Like, through all 3 members of Team Liquid, they're pretty much like right next to each other. But a lovely rocket on DreamHack, using that last little ounce of quad just to get one more frag for good measure.
Yeah, Toxic did a great job with that quad. I mean, earlier on, he was low. He had like 13 health. He rebuilt his stack and was able to get some frags in there. So that was a good defensive run. Kind of evened up this game, although DreamHack's now running with it.
And with Slash, it's going to be hard to keep in there. Toxic tries to deny with the Plasma Trail, but wasn't able to detonate in time. I mean, really, she's going to go so fast. Detonating the Plasma Trail to catch her is going to be incredibly hard to do.
Yeah, DreamHack just said, the heck with it. I'm going all in. I'm not going to give you a chance to detonate this thing.
It's very bold. They've gone in for the drop, but I mean, they put so much in. They were always going to be weak, and I just love the cleanup there.
Again, this is just such back and forth right now. Liquid, though, off to a much better start. I'm curious if that pays off for them here in this round. Who's going to get the power up to, as always, is going to be critical. We got about 35 seconds will be the next power up.
Yeah, Faz was forced to retreat. Unfortunately, though, he actually did put it straight into the hands of Rapper and then immediately melted. I mean, that was just a bit unfortunate for poor old Faz. DreamHack's going to try and meet them in the middle, but actually look at the kill feed. How many members of Team Liquid went down? It's going to be DreamHack versus the world right now. It's only going to be trading out 1-for-1. Too Good has it in hand currently.
Now, Too Good's got to hustle back. Now, this is one of the interesting things. We have quad coming up in 5 seconds. Oh, nice steal by KGB. Very nice. I thought Too Good had a clean route there.
Yeah, really nice positioning. You know, I always love when a player is able to just position himself so well. Rapper, this is where things get dangerous. Scale Bearer with an already naturally high stack. There's the tactical suicide to try and pass it on to DreamHack. I mean, and at this stack, he's going to be quite dangerous. Even with the starter shotgun, it can't be underestimated how much damage you can do. Oh,
yeah,
Faz.
And not to mention the speed. So not only was he stacked, but he can get around the map very quickly. This is just a good start for Liquid right now. They're probably going to get over 50% before Stack gets anything going.
I reckon so. Because, I mean, like, it actually looks like Stacks are kind of like collecting themselves. You know, there's only one of them up there right now. The rest of them are sort of like hanging out outside. Probably going to try and push in as a group, which it looks like they're going to be doing it right now. 3 frags come through, 4 Stacks. They've got a little bit more work to do to get the soul, but Liquid definitely in the lead right now.
Looked like Stack did a really good job of timing the end of that quad. As soon as that quad wore off, it just seemed like they all came in as a team right at that second.
Because I mean that's the strength of Stacked, isn't it? Like in team modes, they've always been known for timing basically everything. And here comes Waz from the top with that pummel revving 100%. Dearing me.
Oh man. That's got to just be so frustrating, heating a pummel when you're so close to the cap. Man, just...
Let alone someone who's like flying from the air.
Yeah, you know.
Head first.
Oh man, this is a great job. Big turnaround here for Liquid. Stacked. Not looking sharp right now.
There's plenty of them on the obelisk, but Rafa, with that rocket on sort of just peppering hell down, does manage to get Toxic. Couple left. Noctis trying to run through, but he's being swiftly chased. But the jump down actually almost feels like Noctis might have jumped down there on reaction to hearing the bull rush.
Similar to last game, except this game it's Rafa. Seems like the Scale Bear is causing, Stacked a lot of problems around the quad area. He's had some nice quad runs and some good rocket play from high position. Rafa's looking really strong right now on Blood Covenant, doing a lot of work for Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean that slash, he's been showing us pretty much all of the day that his slash is no joke. I feel like it's sacrifice. If you've got a good slash, you are such a vital asset to your team. And they've got the, they've actually got the hang in particular, they're going slash here. I feel like it's just a great option that no matter what map they go on, they've got someone that can use this champion to good effect. I feel like his Scale Bearer as well, like his bull rushes have pretty much been on point every time he's done one.
Here we go. So Too Good's got to come in with the protection. They got to get something going here. If they lose this protection for any reason in this fight, oh, looks like they got this.
I mean, Too Good
nice
with, normally you would think this guy's going to be weak, but with protection, that's still plenty to go.
Nice rocket play by Too Good there.
And he's been doing that consistently. You know, you actually check out the kill feed, and there's plenty of rocket kills coming through for Too Good.
Oh, DreamHack, great plasma trail.
I feel like DreamHack's always quite sneaky when he puts those plasma trails down in this game mode. Like, so there are so many individual ones where you just kind of get caught out.
Man, doesn't it seem like Waz just always in the right place at the right time with that gauntlet?
It's like, but I'm pretty sure 80% of his frags have come from pummel.
That's unbelievable. And there's another one.
All right, why not? 5% left, and they're actually going to be on match point.
Oh man, he hit that guy too. Man.
Good accuracy.
Yeah,
very accurate indeed.
Yeah, his gauntlet, he's got great gauntlet accuracy.
But he's got so much health and he was so fast. I mean, it's also his positioning, right? Where if they're going to get caught off guard, he's going to run in with that 8 damage like Gauntlet, and that's it. You are dead. This is going to be match point for Team Liquid. I know quite a few people were expecting Liquid to maybe take this one, which is such a weird turn of events because Stacked have been such a favorite for so long. Who knows? This could be Liquid's tournament.
Yeah, I've mentioned it before. I really like the roster shake-up and everything. I've been keeping in touch with them, how's practice going, and I've been hearing good things. So I was expecting them to come out strong this tournament, and they're not disappointing me at all.
So fitting that Waz gets taken out by a Gauntlet there. However, in 3 seconds, we're going to see one of the most important drop-offs. These guys have played in Sacrifice before. It's going to be Rafa into Waz. If he can just make patches, this will be so important for Team Liquid, but he needs to get there first. Toxic has been able to take him out, but he himself very weak in that exchange. And there we go, the drop-off comes through.
They clearly want that obelisk. It's very important to Stacked, and now to me, that's huge that Team Liquid got that cap.
Yeah, and it was also very important that Waz was positioning himself there to make sure that Toxic couldn't basically just frag him and then drop it off. So they've done the hard work for them.
Yeah, when he turned around that little side hallway and then used his injection and caused a little havoc there and gave his teammates time to adjust. I agree with you there. That was a smart play.
And Rafa with the quad damage goes down, but they've taken so much percentage even before this quad exchanges. Look at that, 20% already going on to 25. This is a great result for Team Liquid.
Yes, they couldn't have asked for a better start right now.
Too good with the quad damage. Keeping him in this corner is going to be quite dangerous. Rafa, though, is able to fight back just with a hair's length of health.
Oh, man, can they get the steal? They need to get something going, clearly. Oh, here's the plasma chest. It's going to be really tough to get it through that bottom area.
Yep, and that's why we see DreamHack comfortably take 2 frags. I mean, there were people so weak. The one lone survivor. There's the drop-off. Faz able to at least put them back into the fight.
Nice drop in by Noctis there, but again, there's a lot of pressure coming from Team Liquid.
And this is that sort of chaotic moment, right, where the frags just go back and forth. Here comes Rafa, looking to get one. Oh, Noctis just didn't see that coming.
Oh, all over him, though. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, and that sort of like close range scenario. I mean, when you've got an Anarchy with a Gauntlet, you're going to get knocked back, and he's just going to chase you down all day, every day.
So again, they're in combat right now. Yeah, there they go. I was like, there's no cap yet. It's still, look, Rafa with the steal. Liquid not letting them really get settled in here on defense, despite all this. Liquid hasn't had the soul on their side for quite some time, but yet Stacked only has 8%.
The important thing would just be wasting time, right? I mean, even if you're not able to get the soul away, make sure that they have to work to put it back.
Absolutely.
This entire series, they've only just got 1% more in this entire exchange.
Yeah, and then you focus, you delay, you got the power up again, and then if you focus on getting that power up, they only got a few percentage points. You come back with the power up, steal it, and then you focus on strong defense. So who's going to get the protection here is what I want to know.
It's going to be game-changing. Tries to run in, but DreamHack with the detonation. DreamHack and Rafa, their coordination on every power-up has just been unmatched.
Phenomenal. It's just causing Stacked a lot of problems. First it was clutch in the last map. Now it's scale bearer / combo in this map. If they can't get a power-up, they're not going to win. This is going to be a wrap.
It's the way Liquid are so flexible with their champion lineups, because at the end of the day, yes, players are all talented and their skill will come through, but the champions are forcing you to approach the match a little bit differently. And when we can see consistently, Too Good in particular, his ability to steal the power up is really good, but now he's having to try and steal a power up versus a scale bearer charge and a plasma trail. No one is surviving that.
Yeah, very difficult for him to do, especially if he's picking up quad. He's just going to melt right away. Protection maybe gives him a little bit of a chance, but again, with the charge and the trail, I don't see how you walk out of that. Oh, nice plasma trail.
Speaking of which, Toxic just, well, see you later.
Yeah, you don't walk walk out of that alive.
Liquid in very good form, very, very good form, going on 60%. It has been somewhat taken. Faz is very weak though. Will his death be in vain? No, Too Good tries to get away, but the eternal Waz and his Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Fights another day.
Yeah, he tried to throw it across to the middle, but there was Toxic to pick it off and get this in the obelisk. They really need a strong defense. If they can hold, they need to hold defense all the way through the power up if they can, and get the power up. It'd be a big turnaround, big boost for them.
I'm really interested, obviously, with that 25% respawn on this next power up. I want to see what Stack's approach will be to dealing with this constant problem, because the way Liquid are putting this together, I mean, they're getting a huge chunk of percentage every time power-up spawns, because their way of approaching the power-up is so hard to challenge.
Yeah, I want to see if Liquid again secures the power up again. And again, I just don't see how, as a team at this level, you know, you really have to get the power up. Splitting power ups is okay, you know, one thing, but giving up every single power up. They finally got one there. Too good with
it was much better for them actually. Yeah, Liquid, Stacked were a little bit slow on that one. I think they were trying to fight towards the obelisk instead, and actually, because they put so much into power, I think that's why there wasn't many heads actually trying to fight for it. They opted to try and go for the obelisk instead.
Well, it worked out for them a little bit. They definitely got some percentages, slowed down Stack. That quad's already starting to wear off, so it really worked out for him, actually.
Yeah, not really a bad call at all by Team Liquid.
Oh, nice frag.
However, now they're obviously going to have to try and make the passage back. Waz with that double kill, though. Too good, just going to be that nuisance from up top. Deals with Waz, but plenty of heads left to try and take out. Peckering down as much damage as possible. Doesn't get the soul, though, so the charge doesn't accomplish a huge amount. The Hang tries to come through now as well. Waz with the pickup.
There we go. He should get out of there, yeah.
Looks like he's being challenged heavily. Can he get past us? Managed to split the net past Faz.
Clutch rocket there. Faz was waiting for him, had good position, and it just didn't matter. He just came up like a bat out of hell and dropped a rocket in his face.
It's really just bold movement, you know? I mean, on the stairs, too, it's quite kind of hard to sort of challenge people. Like, they can either go left, they can sort of like zig and zag you, and there we go. Waz and his good movement. This has the soul now. This is unbelievably close.
Noctis looking pretty good. He should get this cap. But again, Liquid right there to put some pressure.
Oh, looking for his moment. Noctis, unfortunately, running out of rockets, so he's not able to get the shot. He was just waiting for that moment to get the grounded rocket, and the second he pulled the trigger, he swapped weapons. He had no ammo left.
Now, again, getting that power up coming up in about 15 seconds. Can Liquid get this next one? Stack got the last one. But again, we keep seeing it like, it's going to be protection. So it seems to me this next protection is just so critical.
Well, I mean, Rafa has just respawned, which might actually be a blessing in disguise, because now he's fresh off the spawn and he's got loads of health. If he can get protection now, well, here comes Waz. This just became a little bit dangerous. There's no Mega, but I don't think he needs it at this health. If he can just sort of zip in and out a little bit unchallenged, especially on the top, he's just going to look to get out there. He's not going to look to fight at all.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get out of there. He's not terribly stacked, though. He could get brought down. But yeah, nice movement there. Way to get away. Yeah, Stack doing the right thing, waiting for him.
Oh, too good. Man. Just minced up right there. And now this is where things get dangerous. They've just got 4 frags. All 4 members of Stack just went down. They're going to have to respawn. They're now going to have to get their weapons together. This is all going to take time. Yep. They don't have time at this stage.
Yeah, it's going. Their Liquid will clearly be over 90% when by the time any steal happens. They're going to be at least 90 here.
And now they're trying to pile in. Unfortunately, the frags are going in the favor of Team Liquid. As long as they're winning these fights, which Rafa seizing another frag to Hang to get another one. 2 could get to frag, but he goes down as well. Team Liquid, they just need like 3 more %, and they will be moving on into our finals. This will be an insane result. 1% is going to do it. Will Liquid pull this one off? This is so hard to call.
Oh, great rocket there to Hang.
Is this the one? It's looking likely.
Oh, so close. This is...
They're just trying to waste as much time as possible. Is this going to be another one of those moments where Noctis is like, right, we just need to get this as far away as possible?
Oh, Noctis is stacked, though. Oh, but he's got a lot of pressure.
Rafa missing his charge. That's going to be down for Robert. Here comes the Hang with the plasma trail. It's so dangerous.
Oh,
Challenge Toxic goes down. I think that might be sealing the deal. Team Liquid defeats Stacked, and they will be moving on.
Very impressive performance to beat a team like Stacked. 2 maps to 0, 4 rounds to 1. This dominant performance by Liquid.
I think it's automatically sort of put Liquid as the most dangerous team, and now with the situation they're in, I think they're going to be kind of hard to dethrone. Now, Jahar, what do you think about that?